IP TCP Networking. Hello everyone and welcome back to the course. As this is the first section of that course, here we're going to actually offer some videos and lectures that are talking about the essentials about the networking concepts, and we're going to focus strongly on the TCP and IP stack. It is very important firstly to mention that this section and all the sections after that are based on the Internet Protocol version 4 and version 6. So if you don't know what this is, basically Internet Protocol version 4 is the database of all IP addresses that are possible to be taken in Internet, and IP version 6 is created due to the fact that IP version 4 already starts running out of IP addresses, even though there were billion possible addresses with the IP version 4. But now, since they are taken due to the explosion of internet, now we're also using the IP version 6 IP address type. So the TCP and the IP set of protocols are designed to work together to provide an end-to-end transmission of messages across different interconnected networks. So usually we say that the TCP protocol works in the transport layer, while the IP protocol works on the network layer. So the TCP is responsible for creating connections through a data flow. And this is because this process guarantees that the data delivered to the destination is without any errors, and it is delivered basically in the same order in which we send it out. On the other side, IP is responsible for sending and for receiving data blocks. So the aim of the IP is just to find the right IP address or the right route to a system, but it pretty much doesn't guarantee that the data actually is reaching the right destination. And for that reason, we are usually using the TCP and the IP at the same time. So actually, let's talk about the similarities about the TCP and the IP. Basically, both of the protocols are used to solve the transmission over data generated in a network and aim to be transmitted internally or externally. The union basically of those protocols is done to ensure that information always arrives on the best route and on the correct destination. So let's talk now about the protocol stack and the different layers incorporated within this protocol stack. So basically the protocol stack has exactly 4 layers. The first one is called the application layer, and this layer pretty much manages the high-level protocols, including representation, coding, and some dialog control issues. It handles everything that is related to applications. So an example of application layer would be Telnet, which we all use, for example, to connect to certain devices that are, for example, connected to a router which actually has an IP address. And let's say to that router you can connect more than one device, right? So these devices are going to be into the application layer. Then we have the transport layer, and this layer basically handles the quality of the service, the reliability, the control of the flow, and the errors as well. So one of those protocols is exactly the TCP protocol, which aims to provide reliable network communication and some order of the connections. So the transport layer could be either with TCP protocol, which gives an ordered connection to a device, or UDP, where there is no ordered connection, which means that when we send messages, there is no guarantee that they are going to be received in the same order that they've been sent. Next one is the network layer, and basically the purpose of the network layer is to send packets from the source to any network and make these packets to reach destination, regardless of the route that they actually use in order to get there. And the final layer is called the network access layer, and this is also called the host-to-host network layer. It includes the WAN and the WAN protocols. They are also known as link layer or data link layers. So we can say that the network access layer is basically the interface layer to the current network hardware. So if we check the next diagram, we can actually see the different layers and what they basically control. So on the top level, as you can see, we have the application layer with the SMTP or the telnet commands in order to access devices. Then we have the transport layer. Then we have the network layer, which is the IP address basically. And finally, we have the network layer, which is, for example, the wireless or the WAN, let's say. So the network layer is basically when you connect to internet, then we get the network, which is the IP addresses, then we get the transport of that IP address, and finally we reach our application. This is basically how works everything that is related to connecting to some service on the web or locally. And usually the IP address is the most important protocol in the network. And even though it's the most important, as we already said, the IP address does not provide any reliability, flow control, or error recovery. And this is because IP is simply a way in order to name a device or service on the web or locally. So the protocol that is basically responsible for the reliability and error recovery is the TCP protocol or the UDP protocol. Both of them, they're used in the transport layer. So when you want to send some data over network, this is called sending an IP diagram. So this basic unit or this diagram is transmitted from one site through the TCP IP network to another site. Also, the application layer is basically the layer where the user interacts with the computer, where actually the services occur or the action occurs with the actual system that we use. And even though if you access browsers over internet, we actually do use them in order to connect to the application layer or to communicate with the application layer. So we log into the browser and then we communicate with the actual service that is somewhere around the world. On the other side, if we want to access a remote document, we can use the HTTP protocol, which is basically everything that we see in the beginning of the name of each website. Each time we request a communication of this type, the browser actually interacts with the application layer. So it actually serves as an interface between the user application and the protocol stack. And finally provides a communication with the lower layers.